Good morning, everyone. We are here for the knit along, but Murray and I came up with a new word for videos. I was trying to say knitting video the other morning, and I was a little tired, and I came up with the word knitio. And we think this is the best word ever to use for this. Knitio. We now do knitios.
Knitio. Yeah, I love it. Oh, I think that's wonderful. We should get shirts
that say knitio.
Earl Grey tea, please.
So Murray's going to get everybody settled with their tea and coffee.
Could I have a latte like last week?
Can
I have one of her lattes?
Oh,
I've
yes.
changed to my mind.
So-
the latte. Was
So
the
he's
latte
on
looked lovely.
He's on lattes. So, So,
Videos.
knitio. I think that's just a
awesome.
great word. You know, when you're half asleep and you're talking and mumbling and things come out, it came out knitio. And so we okay, knitio is the word. So we are on section 2 of the shawl. And how's everybody doing with that so far? We don't even know if anyone's watching. We could be talking to ourselves.
That's okay. Talking to ourselves
It's
is good.
fine.
Because I'm having adventures in Knitland.
You are.
I have a lovely pattern that I developed because I did 2 of the 2 sets of the 4, and it doesn't look anything like the picture. It's pretty, but it doesn't look like the picture.
I'll see if I can hold it up closer so we can. I don't know.
Do you want me to bring the camera in?
No, I don't think so. Do you want to just?
We can't zoom with this camera.
That's right. Okay. Well, she's done a very lovely pattern,
Look, I'm going to put the white behind it so you can kind of see it.
and it's on an angle, and it's quite striking. And I think Peggy has 2 options here. She can continue on with this pattern that she has developed all on her own.
The video pattern.
Yeah, or she can rip it back and fix it. I mean, you could do this for a little bit of a section and then join in the other pattern too.
Maybe when I switch color.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Since
I know what I'm doing here.
One of the great things about this pattern is the flexibility of it. Now, Greta and I are ready to start our next
Oh,
color.
no, we're not.
No?
Because I made an error
Okay.
and I have no idea how to take it out because I did 2 rows, 4 rows of the same colors. So I had to stop because I don't know how to take anything out. So someone needs to take 2 rows for me.
So, are you concerned about that, or do you want?
Well, yes.
Do you care?
Well, I did care because I don't like this. I did try, but I don't like that going up the side where I would have to carry it.
Oh.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so I care.
Okay. So you want me to rip this out, is what you're saying? I'm going to teach Greta how to rip out her own stuff. That's what I'm going to
Greta
do.
would
Very
like
good.
to learn how to do that. But on TV, we're having heart attacks, so we don't want to do that.
Okay. So we've got Lorna and Agnes watching, and good morning, Lorna and Agnes. So Agnes is on the 2nd color, so you just go, girl, and keep on with that. And Lorna is on the 3rd repeat in the lace, so that's awesome. And Melissa is here, so that's terrific. Okay, I have to show her how to rip out. So
And that would be a slip, right?
this is what I do. So I hold this
Mm-hmm.
so I can see that stitch. Pull it and rip.
Now, the slip stitch, I wasn't sure how you put it back over.
I just put it through. You just put it through. Yeah. So you just go. You find that the mother stitch, the one that's on the bottom, right? The one that this loop is coming through,
Mm-hmm.
and you just put your needle through.
Okay.
So
The
there
mother
you-
stitch. It's like the mother stitch.
Oh my gosh.
And then this happens, right?
Oh
and Rita,
my gosh.
Rita,
No,
it's not
No.
hard. It's not hard. I want you to look.
I'm looking.
You just go like this.
Sure you do. I have CPR skills that they're needed.
All fixed up.
Oh.
I know, Greta, you should see me sometimes because if I have a big section to rip out, I'll just pull the whole thing back rip it back and then stop a row before I want to pick up and then do that.
Ah.
Yeah. Sounds like it's making her nervous.
Oh, I'm
I
having so much.
watched Cindy cut with scissors a piece that she wanted to keep, but didn't like the row, so
She told me she did that.
I know it was most impressive. 'Cause
Oh.
I was quietly having heart failure supporting her.
That was the first time I'd done that
Oh, glory be.
too. And that's like, has anyone done steeking yet? I really want to try a project that requires steeking.
What is steeking?
You actually cut your knitting and it rolls back. And I know. And you cut it like up this way, like you actually,
And the goal is what exactly?
well, let's say you were doing, so I think, and I haven't done enough research on this, but let's say you're knitting a cardigan
Yeah.
and you're going to have like an edge on it. Instead of knitting like two at a time, they'll knit across and leave a thing up the center that they can cut after,
Uh-huh.
so that they will have both sides of their cardigan the same tension and everything.
Glory be.
Wow.
So check out steeking. It's supposed to be really easy.
How do you spell steeking?
Steeking. So I have never tried it yet, and I think I should someday, but I'm a little nervous about that. I think the first cut will be the hardest.
That is the deepest, yes.
Yeah.
YouTube. There must be someone on YouTube.
Oh, there is, and I've read lots about it. I just have not tried it yet. I have a couple other things I was going to mention today. So I have this little tree in the studio, and I didn't bring it down to show it, but I will post a picture of it later. And it lights up, and it's just above Greta's head over on the far side here, this little white tree. It's that little birch tree. And I decided that I'm going to try and decorate it every month with some sort of seasonal knitting.
Oh, cool.
So right now, of course, Valentine's Day is coming up. So last night, I got my first little heart knit.
Oh, look at that.
So
Very
really,
cool.
it was really cute, and it didn't take that long.
Sweet.
And I got it stuffed and everything. So I found two patterns, well, some patterns that I liked, hearts, and then ones are little kind of knitted round Valentine bags that you can fill with candy with those kisses, Hershey's kisses.
Yes.
So I thought I would make a couple of those to hang on the tree too.
Oh, that would be
So I
nice.
thought that would be fun.
Very nice.
So, because I don't have enough projects. So anyway, the heart pattern
No
was,
groundhog.
oh, I know. So what's for March? Should I do like St. Patrick's Day stuff?
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
So if anyone wants to find or promote a pattern or has a cool pattern that they think might be fun for me to do, or if you just want to knit something and send it to me in the mail, it'll get hung on the tree.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So this
very
is called a Nearly No Sew Stuffed Heart Pattern. It's free on Ravelry, and it was, so just right here, a Nearly No Sew Stuffed Heart Pattern. And I thought it was kind of fun to get the little red heart done. So it's not that big. And I think my tree will look really cute when it's covered in red hearts. Pardon me, Marie?
This is the camera.
Yeah, I know, but I was reading.
All right.
Thank you, Murray. Oh, it looks beautiful.
So the other thing I have is I just joined on Ravelry the Handmade Sock Society.
Oh.
So you had to join by a certain date, and you got your it was half price. And so I get 6 sock patterns, secret sock patterns. So and they arrive in your mailbox before February 4th. So the first one is the 4th, the second one is March 4th, April 1st, May 6th, June, and July. Over the 6 months, I have to take my glasses off to read this. The Handmade Sock Society Season 4, you will receive 6 secret sock patterns, which will automatically appear in your Ravelry library. Make sure you update your collection after each release to see your new pattern. Please go ahead and create a project page in Ravelry for your first sock of the season. You can use the Handmade Sock Society image or any countryside photo you love until you decide on your yarn. All patterns call for fingering weight yarn. And they do have a newsletter that you can sign up, and it's by Curious Handmade. So, and this one, everything is inspired by nature. So this is the 4th one that she's done. Her name is Helen. And I just thought it looked kind of fun to try something different. And I have a great selection of yarn to choose from to do these. So that's the other fun thing I'm added to my list of things. And then I have one other thing that I did. So the Halifax Knitters Group, which is a great knitters group, they this month, if you check their events page, they always have something going on every month. And this month is tea cozies.
Oh.
So I thought, I want to knit a tea cozy. So I joined, and I didn't have my yarn ready for Monday, but I'm going to be caught up. And I got the Ravelry pattern. I bought the pattern called Rabbit in the Brambles Tea Cozy.
Oh my.
So it's a little rabbit
It's so
popping
cute.
out. And I don't know how much. Where's the camera? Probably can't see that very well. Anyway, it's Rabbit in the Brambles Tea Cozy by Lindsay Mudd. I am dyeing some cranberry yarn this afternoon. I had some yarn that was kind of pinkish cranberry-ish, and I'm just going to over dye it and then get started on that. I don't think it'll be too hard. So I'm kind of excited to do my Rabbit in the Brambles Tea Cozy.
Very
She
adorable.
had a lot of great different patterns that had little animals popping out of the top of the tea cozy. Like there was hedgehogs, foxes, moles.
Oh, cool.
Just fun. So I would say go take a look at Lindsay Mudd's page in Ravelry and see the different things she has. So that was kind of fun too. So more on my list. So that's all the stuff, the new stuff. So now I'm going to get started on my setup row. Where did we put the pattern?
Oh, it's right here.
Okay. So on my shawl, I have been totally just using random colors from my scrap bin. I do think about it a little bit, and I am having fun with it. And sometimes I just have enough to do one row. I'm being really, really flexible on this. And I'm having fun. I added a little bit of texture in the bottom. I just purled a row when I should have knit just to make a little indent on some of the wider pieces. That is the beauty of this pattern that Melissa designed. You can really play around and have fun with it. So I've been playing with that. Now I see a whole bunch of things have come up on the screen, so I will see where we are. A theme tree would be great. Okay. Carrie, you can be a rebel all you want. Carrie is a wonderful weaver and dyer. She's up in Sydney, and she listens to the podcast and weaves at the same time, or works in her
very
studio.
good.
So she's just terrific. Carrie and I met Carrie when she and I took the level 1 weavers at the Gaelic College. And she is a fantastic weaver, and she has done some beautiful weaving with my yarn that has turned out just awesome. So she does these cowls where you weave up on one side and then you bring the other side around and weave the ends through this way.
Oh.
So they're fringed on both sides and they're a V. They're really, really pretty.
Nice.
So I'll try and post one of those pictures because Carrie sent them to me, and I have posted them in the past, but I'll try and post another one today so you can see her work. So check out Carrie's work because it's awesome. Okay. So question, please. Second row, slip 1. Melissa, if you're here, would you like to answer that question? She says, I have been doing the slip purl rise. What is your advice? And what is the Halifax group? The Halifax group is on a Facebook page. It's called Roving HRM Knitters. I think. Roving
Yes,
Knitters HRM, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I sent you an invite to it, Rita, this past week, just recently. So,
I don't think.
no, I thought I did.
Oh.
Okay.
They
So,
have neat stuff.
yeah.
Their Facebook.
Oh, the talented knitters up
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Oh,
That'd be fun to
just,
look into.
it is.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And I love that they do the knit-alongs. And during COVID, they did Zoom live knit-alongs.
Oh, nice.
So that was kind of
Aw,
fun,
nice.
too. So they have a great, a really good group up there. We're very fortunate with the knitting groups in Nova Scotia here.
Nova Scotia
So.
has a great knitting community.
Yes. Yes, HRM Roving Knitters. That's what I meant, Lorna, the HRM Roving Knitters group. So, yeah. So I am going to grab my yarn and do my setup row. So my setup row is knit one, knit front and back, knit to the last 3 stitches, knit 2 together.
Bless you, bless you, bless you. Little kitty. Excuse me. That's a little kitty. Tiny little you now.
So, oh, they're around somewhere.
Oh, I will find them.
This is
So-
the cutest little kitty sneakies ever.
So Murray always makes sure that everybody has coffee during this. He does a really great job.
Amazing.
He's got that figured out down pat for us, and I always get my cup of tea. So it's good. So what did everybody think of that yucky, slushy snow that came
Oh.
down? And
Okay, so I'm driving down to get here, and the snowbanks are all gone, which has released all the Tim Hortons cups that people throw out their car windows.
Disgusting.
Oh.
It is, but it's like this bloom of red in all of them, slush and mud. Right?
Oh, right,
So they are
right.
so distinctive, and they make me sad.
yeah. Just keep your cup in the car till you get home.
Yeah, no kidding.
Mind you, we had a bit of a bonus. We heard a splat against the side of the house. I said, what is that? So Rod went out and looked, and somebody's entire bag of recycled water bottles had landed in our yard. Rod said, bonus.
Did they drop from the sky or what?
We don't know. He said today he's going to have to count them. Turn them in.
Well, that's. I wonder if they were on their way to the depot. And then,
They go around the back. They must have. But
must.
what a horrible sound to have a whole thing of plastic water bottles smack into the side of the house.
Oh, yeah.
my goodness.
Oh, it was scary. It was quite funny.
you know, when I lived in British Columbia, one year we had a crazy snowfall, and we were in a house with a metal roof.
Oh
And when that snow gave on the roof and slid down the roof and landed beside the house, I thought the whole roof was caving in.
Oh.
But that year we couldn't see out the windows
Oh,
because the snow had come down so much and it had just totally covered up the windows.
that's crazy.
Yeah, on the
That is
side
just
of the
crazy.
house.
Wow.
It was one of those old A-frames,
Mhm.
and so we could see out the front, but we couldn't see out the side at all. So
Wow.
Boy.
it was crazy that year.
Wow.
All Murray did was shovel snow, move snow around.
Move snow around. Yeah.
And then we saw a guy going by with a blade, and Murray's out there, flagged him in. And I said, "Give him $20, man. It's
Yeah.
so worth it."
Yeah, your firstborn.
Yeah.
We actually got the guy who plows us out came out yesterday morning and moved all of that really heavy wet snow out of the way. Which my husband and I were both like, why is he coming? We were very thankful
Yeah.
that he did, because as it thawed, it's not like now the path to the paths are all clear, right? So the dogs don't have to do their business on the deck.
Yeah, that's always good too. Okay. Oh, thank you, Melissa, for answering that question for me. How many years have we been in Shelburne? We came to Shelburne in 2012. So we came from British Columbia. So we went back to Alberta when Murray took a contract for just over a year, but we were back here again. So my family is in British Columbia and Saskatchewan, so we're a little bit of ways away, but it's all good. It's not, you can't just hop on a plane anymore and go see them,
No,
which I
no.
found really challenging.
That's
Yeah.
very true.
Mhm. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed things change. So I'm just about at the end of my row 1 setup.
And for the foundation row,
So you're continuing on the same. You knit 1 front and back,
yes.
and then you slip 1 and purl the next row. So
Ah.
those are the first 2 rows to get your lace pattern started. So I have been slowly recreating the studio, really putting a lot of thought into it because we're doing so many more videos now.
Yes.
So this is now our designated Knitio space.
Mhm.
And it's coming along pretty good. We are much better with the lighting in here. And I have everything shoved into one corner now that I have been pulling out a box at a time, figuring out what to do with it.
The word Knitio
Knitio.
could also stand for your studio, which
Yes,
is your Knitio.
it is.
For your Knitio videos.
Knitio videos. Well, I've thought, like Murray and I are working on we're going to have a weekly Knitio that won't be live, so it'll just be like a podcast or whatever. But Murray has to work with this really fussy partner that wants everything perfect.
Who could that
Who
be?
could
I don't know.
I just don't know.
I don't know.
Oh.
So I have
Wow.
been working on, so all that we've started basically right now is planning our introduction. We spent yesterday morning watching different knitting podcasts to see how they introduce, and because I want something that's consistent, right? That
Right.
sort of
Yeah,
has
yeah.
the branding and is consistent. So we have come up with the name for our series, or my series of videos, and it is going to be called
Da-da-da-da.
Dying to Knit.
Oh!
Ah.
So
That's-
DYEING, and then to knit.
I like it.
Yeah, because I do both,
That
right?
is so Cindy.
Yeah, so we
Mhm.
thought that would be fun. And now we're just going to keep working away at our 45-second introduction.
Very good.
So we thought, we watched so many different videos. So some people, yes. Hey,
This
Greta.
is the same problem I
I-
had starting taking it out. I'm at the last 2 stitches, which were the nib
Yeah.
onto, and I'm not
Okay.
quite sure.
So I just did.
Oh, golly. See? I knew she'd do that. Now I have a whole row to go back again.
You
I
do.
still got one more row to do before I
wait,
get
I
to
have to-
start
I have to
knit.
pull this out again.
Don't look.
Whoa. What did you do?
It was just wrapped around your
Oh.
cord.
Oh,
There we go.
this
It's
knitting
like
stuff
giving
is
birth.
so
It was
hard.
wrapped around the cord.
It was wrapped around. What's going on now?
Now you're going back.
Oh, you've done a couple more.
Yeah, I've done it for you. Those
Those
the beginning
troublesome
ones.
stitches. Okay.
It's not that scary
Yes,
once
yes.
you do it.
Yes, yes, yes. It is.
I was thinking we should do a work or a video on fixing mistakes, and just
yes.
have like everybody come with a square, drop a stitch, let it fall, show you how to pick it up again.
for,
that kind of
for
thing.
beginning knitters like
Yeah.
me, that would be brilliant.
Yes.
So that people aren't so scared.
I know
Or
because
aren't pulling out a whole lot of knitting when they don't need to.
That's right.
and that's what happens with me. I make one little mistake and I have to take it all back because I don't know how to fix it.
So do you know about lifelines in your knitting?
No.
Okay, so let's say you have a section, and you know how most of us knit with these new interchangeable needles.
Yes.
Do you see there's that little hole there?
Yes.
Do you see that, Peggy? There's that little hole there?
Yes.
Okay, so let's say you're really happy with this section and you're worried about the lace section. You're worried you're going to have to rip back that lace section a little bit. What you do is you tie a piece of dental floss source thread in here, usually dental floss,
Okay.
and you just knit across, and that is pulling the dental floss through the stitches while you're knitting. And so then you get halfway up the lace and you think, oh my gosh, I've got a mistake back here. You can actually just pull your needle out, rip it back. When it comes to the dental floss, it's going to hold those stitches, and you can just slide your needle back through there and start over.
Okay, that's
Oh,
genius.
that's brilliant.
So you can do that.
Wow.
Mhm.
So, oh wow.
Oh, wow.
So Rita, if you want to try that, I
Wow.
can grab some dental floss because your next row is starting into your lace.
No,
You're not
I wish it
gonna try
was.
lifeline?
I wish it was starting into my lace.
Well, no, it is. You're starting your.
Oh no,
No.
I made this mistake when I was just about finished. I still have.
Oh, you got a couple
8
rows.
rows or so to go, unfortunately.
Oh, you've got 1, 2. You should have 6 of these. 1, 2, 3. So you got about 6 rows. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, come on, hurry up.
It would
No
be
pressure.
done if I hadn't made this mistake.
True. So the lifelines can be very handy.
That's a pretty neat thing.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing that I wouldn't mind doing
That
a
would be
tutorial
very
on
handy.
would be you can like picking up a stitch from the side of your knitting to add a piece on that's going.
Oh yeah.
I would
yeah.
love a tutorial on that because I
I
know
am
that would
good
be very
at
cool.
that. I have just finished a project that required me to do that.
Yes.
And I have, boy, it's my new thing.
Oh, very good.
That's good. I just see we've got a few more comments that
Okay,
have come up. So, oh, hello from Calgary. Hi, Lana. Glad you've joined us today. And English is my first. I would like to clarify. Let's see, without disconnecting it, it means do not cut. Yes, if that's in the pattern, I think that's what Melissa meant. I think that's when you're carrying your yarn up the side. When you're doing those small 2-row colors, you don't need to cut. Yeah. So Greta, did you bring one of your mats today?
I did.
Oh, so
Oh,
if you
yay!
remember last week, I give all my scraps of yarn to Greta, and she makes them into these mats that are absolutely stunning. And I asked her to bring one in to show today.
Yay.
So she's just getting it.
This is my shaggy yoga mat.
Oh my goodness.
So you're gonna have to get in front of the camera here. Look at that.
A shaggy yoga mat, all done with yarn ends, and it's just a crochet back.
So she just crocheted a background,
Mhm.
and then
And pop them on.
she hooks them through in groups of color.
This is my first one that I made. My new one is sitting on the back of my mother's.
You have one
chest.
spot. Is that
Oh, I
on
have.
purpose?
Yeah, I don't finish or anything. I have a strange OCD behavior. This is the piano bench cover, and yes, there is a spot. Someday Rod says he knows that that I'm good when I finish the hole in something. It's very good. So silly. But yeah, so this is what I make with all the yarn ends.
Nice. Nice.
That's really cool.
Thank you. It's
There's
a lot
no
of
Fentex in that, is there?
Comment.
no Fentex, Murray.
No one you know knits with that stuff. My goodness.
But
So,
I have a Fentex story though, which
Oh,
is
good.
really quite
because we
funny.
were talking about the Fentex last week.
Yeah, I had a Pekingese, and he loved to get into my wool. And whenever he'd get into my wool, he'd take something. So we would call them the toes because he took it.
Mhm.
And that would become his toy. Well, one day he got into Fentex, and I thought, oh no, what's he going to do with it? Well, he loved it, and he carried it around for days and days and days.
Like a ball of Fentex?
Yes, only he
Oh,
tore it apart and
Oh,
turned it into a massive, but it didn't come apart like wool, so he
No,
loved
he
it.
was flossing his teeth. That's what he was doing.
So this little guy lived for 18 years, and every day of his 18 years, he carried around this piece of Fentex. It never
Really?
gave out.
Oh,
It never gave out.
My, there you go.
And when he passed away, of all the toys, that's the one thing we kept. So I have one horrible mass of Fentex.
You should bring that to show next week.
Show it
And
there.
it's orange Fentex.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
That is
It's the tur because he took it.
the
tur. We always, all we used to be able to say to him is, Pippi, can you go get your tur? And he'd go get the tur.
And bring it back.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that funny? Oh my goodness.
Yep.
They sure get their own little personalities about stuff, don't
They
they?
do.
Yeah.
They do. They do.
In a good way.
It's like I was telling you this morning, my terrier decided to join me in the shower, which was a bit of a surprise. But after she has a bath, she goes and sits on my clothes.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if it's the clothes I was planning on wearing here today, they were not this color or this
I know.
because they were wet from the terrier,
Mhm.
or my pajamas. So I have a choice, right? Okay.
Mhm.
Yes, wet terrier.
Wet terrier.
Yep.
Oh, the wet terrier.
Oh, the wet
Oh,
terrier.
the wet terrier.
Well, I guess it wouldn't be bad because you just smelled like her shampoo, right? So,
Just a little surprised.
just yeah. Well, I couldn't believe she got in the shower.
But it's her name, too.
Oh,
Oh.
yes. Oh, that's. Oh my goodness.
Okay, so.
Not spelled E-A-U.
Okay, so I am going to start my lace section now. My first two setup rows are done. And so I'll just do, so I'm gonna knit. Knit the first stitch. And I'm gonna knit front and back. Okay, so this is the pattern repeat part, is yarn over, and then slip one, and then knit two, and then pass the yarn over those two knit stitches. Well, not the yarn over, pass the slip stitch over the two knit stitches. So I'll do that again. So it's yarn over, slip one, knit two, pass the slip stitch over. So yarn over, slip one, knit two, pass the slip stitch over. So when I pass the slip stitch over, I just sort of grab it with the other needle and lift it up over the other two stitches. And what it does, it sort of makes a little cage or a loop around those stitches. So I will just continue on now with that.
And I'm on a purl row and I'm trying to do what she said.
Oh, dear.
So now I'm undoing what I just did.
Don't listen to me. So what other knitting products do you have on the go?
Well, I have that beautiful Aurora Borealis yarn
Oh.
that you dyed for me. And I've made socks for my grandson, Callan, and they're actually done, and I'll bring them for you next week, but I have to do my weaving in and blocking. And so I made the toes a gold colors, that is like the moon. And I'm looking for a children's book on the Aurora Borealis that I can then put with the socks, and it will be part of his birthday gift.
Oh, that's
How
a great.
wonderful.
That
Yeah, so I was
sounds
doing
lovely.
a search online for children's books on the Aurora Borealis, and of course there are lots.
So if anyone knows of
Oh,
a
yes.
good book, let us know. Oh, yes, I was slipping it. Was I slipping it knitwise? Let me do it. So I'll remember, Lorna, what I did. Yes, I'm slipping it knitwise. That's slip stitch.
Okay.
What I've been working on lately, and I just finished, was what I was telling Peggy about, taking the stitches up from the sides. I
Oh,
was
yeah.
doing a sideways, diagonally sideways shawl, scarf that was done in triangles.
Oh,
And I got an advent calendar from another independent knitter from the Shelburne area for Christmas.
Good.
From
Dorothy?
from Dorothy.
Nice.
Yeah, and I was using every day came with a mini skein, so I wanted to do something with the mini skeins. So I made a flock of chickens. And I also did a triangle for the scarf that I was doing to use up the rest of the yarn in the mini skein. And as I finished a color, I would change the color. And so the entire scarf is my Christmas.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
nice.
Christmas advent calendar.
Nice.
It turned out really, really nice.
Speaking of chickens, when I was looking for Valentine knitting last night, I found a pattern for Valentine chickens.
Oh,
So they have little hearts on them. So I thought, oh,
I do feel the need for them coming on.
I'll
Love
find that.
chickens.
I'll find that for you.
Yay!
So maybe you can whip those up and we can put them under the tree,
That sounds
under the
cool.
chicken tree,
Chicken tree.
or the seasonal display area.
Oh, I do feel a need for chickens coming on.
Mm-hmm. Greta, will you have chickens at the museum again this
We
summer?
will. Corey and Tina will be coming back.
Are they housed somewhere over the winter?
They have a foster family for the winter,
Mhm.
and then they'll be coming back when the museum opens. Hopefully, I can get my own chicken coop because I've missed them a great deal. Corey stands for coronavirus, and Tina stands for quarantina, and they can be visited at Ross Thompson House.
I wonder if we could do a live stream from Ross Thompson House. Do you think they would let us do that?
I don't see why not.
Can we wait until it's warmer?
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Oh, for certain.
It'd be
It's
kind
cold
of
in
cool
there.
to do like one outside at some point in time and one inside in one of those old rooms.
That would
set
be
up.
fabulous.
You know, in that back room.
Yes,
Wouldn't
sure.
that be cool?
Oh yes, that would be wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I bet they would let us.
I don't see why not.
We'd promote them. and-
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We could tell good
Absolutely.
stories.
Yeah.
He will good. That has been known to happen. Yes.
So what stories stand out to you about that house? Like, I know there's some interesting stuff there.
Yes, so they had an indentured servant, a black woman who was no doubt their slave. They called her an indentured servant. She worked for them for 5 years without any pay at all. They did subsequently pay her a little bit, but very small amount. She worked for them for 10 years. And this lady was at one point accused of starting a fire. There was a fire in the chimney of the kitchen in the house. And George Ross was a very stingy man and didn't want to pay the fine to the fire brigade for putting the fire out. So he blamed the indentured servant. And even back in the earliest times, 1890, I believe this may have been, 1790, I do apologize, 1790, he was laughed out of court by the judge and told to pay his fine.
Oh, very good.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Hmm. And I mean, I've been in the Ross Thompson house and well, number one, the place was incredibly preserved
Yeah.
in its state because it was never modernized with a kitchen, ever. that I know of, or was there at one time and they took it out, or do you know anything about that?
There was a modernization in the front section, but when they took it out, they even found original walls left underneath.
Yeah.
So it's very nice to see.
So the actual kitchen was in the basement.
It was.
And it's the stove, like the big fireplace is down there, and that was the kitchen. Like that's all there was a
Yeah,
fireplace. There
that's
was
it.
no running water, no sink, no nothing. Just
No?
Wow.
And there
Probably-
are 5 fireplaces in that house. It's fun to let the kids run around and find the 5 fireplaces. So hopefully we'll be allowed to do that again at some point.
Yeah. It's just we're really fortunate to have the preservation of that extent of that house, because it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But a Nidio there would be fun.
And we
Yes.
do a lot of fun things there too. We have what we call Music Mondays, the Friday edition, because we were closed Monday this year, so we moved it to Friday, but we like the name Music Mondays, so we call it Music Mondays, the Friday edition, where the local musicians get together and they perform in the yard. On Tuesday mornings, the rug hookers came and rug hooked in the yard. A knitting group came and knit in the afternoons on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we called it Woolly Wednesday, where we washed wool, spun, carded, whatever was to be done with wool, we did it on Wednesday. So it was a great things going on there all the time.
Since I was gone this summer, did you do any natural dyeing?
We
Did you?
did.
Good.
Yes, we did.
Good.
So this year we we did the not goldenrod. Yes, goldenrod.
Goldenrod? Yeah.
Goldenrod. It came out beautifully.
good.
Oh my goodness, it was beautiful. We did onion, goldenrod, and avocado this year.
Did the avocado turn the pink color?
It was pinkish.
Pinkish.
It wasn't as pink as we
As you
hoped.
wanted it to be.
No. I think we would have needed a lot of avocados, but that was the collecting for a whole year of a lot of avocado eaters.
So I have row 1 done.
That's very pretty.
Beautiful.
So now I'm moving on to row 2
Oh,
of the
that's so
pearl.
pretty.
So it's going to take a couple repeats before it'll start looking like something.
Well, I'm almost finished taking it out so I can knit.
That's good. Knitting backwards.
Oh yeah, fun. Fun.
So
fun.
did everybody's power stay on over the ours did, which is
Mine did. It flickered, but
Yeah.
it stayed.
Yeah, it flickered, but it stayed. We got the generator all sorted out, knowing that if we did that, the power would stay on. It only goes out when the generator's still in the garage,
Oh, of course.
yeah.
That's a rule.
I know it went out in the Ohio area.
Oh, yes, because they made the CBC, they were talking about how in the Shelburne area, there were 1,000 people who were without power,
Yeah.
but it wasn't us. Yeah, which is nice, because usually the power does go out. And the winds never got up big enough to really do any damage. There were no trees down, and the waves were very impressive, but there was no real problems along the shoreline with the erosion. Or sometimes we get lots of new lobster traps that wash up. There was none of that either.
Oh.
Okay.
I always go down to check and see if there's anyone living in it.
Ooh, maybe we should do a Nidio on a warm day on your deck.
Oh, that would
That would be
be
fun
so
too.
Well,
yeah.
we could do a Nidio anytime
Yeah.
in the loft.
In the loft too.
You've
Yeah.
been to the loft.
Yeah, the
in my
loft
little
is
dance
awesome.
studio.
Yeah.
Yep, anytime.
That would be fun too.
Mm-hmm.
Just so we're not always in here to have that beautiful ocean background. But
Yeah.
I think Murray would probably just have to pan and take a shot. Otherwise, we wouldn't show up again, right?
That's
You want
true.
me to come over?
No, we're just talking about future Nidios.
Okay.
Nidio videos. That would be fun.
That would actually be nice. Just, the traveling videos.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll have to do one this summer when I'm in Saskatchewan, but I won't have the same guests. Okay, you guys might have to
That's
do a
why
road
Murray's.
trip.
That's I'm up for that. Vaccinate me, and I'm on my way.
Road
Yeah.
trip.
Road trip to.
Just give us our jab and we're good
Yeah.
to go.
You bet. You bet.
So that would be kind of
Before
fun
you
too.
go, we'll have to do a nideo from the pink tub.
Oh,
the
yes!
pink
Yes. Tell, you need to tell about this, Greta. Everyone would love that. And you can actually be in your pink tub knitting.
It has
Open-
been known to happen.
Okay, let's hear this story about Greta and the pink tub.
So my bathroom got remodeled, and it's a lovely bathroom now. But the tub that was in it was an old
Pink.
60s pink tub, and it was so comfortable and big and porcelain and awesome. And then it went away, and I was so sad. I didn't like my new tub at all compared to my old tub. Well, for my 30th wedding anniversary, the pink tub re-emerged, but in the backyard with a cedar surround around it, and it became my outdoor hot tub. So when I come home from work, it's usually filled with hot water and bubbles, and I can get right in the tub, and my pool boy husband brings me a nice glass of wine.
You are clothed in this tub? In your
I am definitely clothed. I don't do the other bits. Totally clothed.
Yeah.
I even bought myself a Muslim bathing outfit because it kept me covered more so I could stay out longer in my pink tub
Do you have to
earlier in the spring
Yeah.
and later in the fall.
Do you have to get like more hot water poured in throughout the night, or do you just keep it at the one, and when it cools off, it's time to get out?
Oh no, I get more hot water.
Okay.
He's got it rigged up so I can have hot water.
Yeah.
She has a very nice pool boy. What can we say?
Yeah. That sounds great.
Okay, I'm back to here and a little
Okay.
nervous at the very end of this row.
Okay.
And then I will continue on.
So with this, this is where you were. So here's that. There's that stitch. Okay. This is the knit front and back.
Yeah.
So you see, here's the stitch right there that you've come through with both of them. So you just grab that, pull it out. Okay. And then do this one.
Okay.
And you are ready to go.
And I can start with
You
the
can
other
start.
yarn now. Oh my. Better wrap this one up a bit.
So go,
Thank you.
Rita,
That-
go.
I sure need to now.
Okay, I just see, I think we've got a couple more comments in
Oh,
here.
very good.
I lost power. Oh, you lost power in. So Lorna, you were in Swan River, lots of canola farms in 2013, and we went to Saskatchewan where their cottage and camp is. So I'm really fortunate. Our family still has a cottage in northern Saskatchewan at East Trout Lake. My grandfather built it when I was 8 years old, so I have been going there a long time. A long, long time. And
It's amazing that it's still there for you.
and it's still in the family. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, it's been added on to, and we have great family stories. Like when we actually lived in Saskatchewan, because that's where we lived until our kids were growing up. The cabin was about an hour and 40-minute drive from our place.
Okay.
So we would go up Friday night right after work and sometimes come home early Monday morning or late Friday night. It just depended on how much fun everybody was having. And it always seemed to be, you get up there on Friday night and it was beautiful. And then Saturday morning it started to rain. And it rained all day Saturday and most of Sunday. And Sunday night, when you were just going to start coming home, it cleared again.
So of course you stayed.
So we'd stay till Monday morning.
Yeah.
So because Marie and Owen like to go out fishing and stuff. So, that was a lot of fun. And I would love to do a video from up there. Now, if those of you who have purchased yarn from me and have got that postcard with the yarn in the shape of the heart in the moss, I took that picture right in front of the cabin. I dyed that yarn up there.
Yes.
And in the sun porch, that was when I first came up with that colorway, because I was up there in the fall and I was looking at all the beautiful colors that were up there, and ended up dyeing that, and then took that picture right in front of the cabin.
Nice.
So,
Nice. Very nice.
yeah, it was.
Oh, do you know what you haven't done, Cindy? You haven't read our two next
Oh,
cards for
That's
today.
right. So we are on March and April. And I am on the scraps. So I actually took the time to sort my yarn out and go through, and I picked a bunch of colors that I thought would work for my shawl. Okay, so I'm going to start with It's All About the Chaos, and March is the first sign of trouble. We started off the month ready to go, but suddenly our lives came to a screeching halt. In a few days, everything changed. Social distancing, self-isolation, distance learning, working from home. It all changed so quickly. And then March for finding tranquility is darkness. When darkness descends, it can bring on feelings of uncertainty and fear. In those times, we draw from deep within ourselves to move forward with courage. We start to see the courage of humanity around us, and that gives us hope. And hope gives us tranquility. Now, April. Creativity for the win. Creativity starts to save the day. When humanity starts to find its groove, something wonderful happens. Creating art, cooking, music, gardening. The creative pieces of our lives help us to find satisfaction every day in a different way. That's a different way than we've been used to for some of us. Not for everybody, but for some of us.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I joined some different groups and people were posting like, I started making bread. Or
Yes.
they've never done things like that before. Or they started really getting into cooking and things like that. And gardening. So many people did gardens last year.
Oh, the garden centers. This last year was their banner year. They've never been so well. Yeah, so busy because people were suddenly needing to do something different.
Yeah.
Right.
And I also heard that many of the shelters, like the pet and animal shelters, were totally
Animals found home.
Animals found homes because people were at home. They actually had the time to be with an animal.
Yes.
And I mean, if your reasoning for not getting an animal was that you couldn't be with one enough, that's a great reason, because you want your animals to be part of the family and everything. But when you start to find time, and I really think that working from home is here to stay. I think that
I believe that's.
I think that's a huge change for
Yes,
people.
indeed.
And when you think about that, that's sort of a win-win for everybody. These big
yes.
offices don't have to have, all this office space and things tied up like that. And people, don't have to be spending money on transportation to work, on work clothes, on all that sort of stuff.
That's it.
So
Yeah.
I think the real estate folks that own these big buildings are going to be the people that are going to have to be inventive in new ways to use their.
And now's the
land.
time for them to start thinking about using those buildings for affordable housing.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I agree with you 100%. They're going to have to reinvent themselves.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you want to save all that money on utilities and everything else?
Exactly.
If you're a big company?
Absolutely.
Send them home, right? Yeah.
So April is light for the finding tranquility. We see glimpses of light and hope coming back into our lives. Stories about genuine acts of kindness make their way to us. Humanity pulls together to help brighten our communities, spreading a special light out into the world. The promise of light gives us tranquility.
Yes.
So there's our two colors we have been working with today.
The little cards are wonderful. I think so
I
too.
had fun with those.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So what were you doing, Cindy, when the word came out that it was officially a pandemic?
What was I doing? Probably knitting. Probably in my chair going, oh, now I don't really have to do anything but cook and clean and knit. But
In a way, wasn't that liberating?
it was, but what happened for me, I mean, there's always, I'm the kind of person who always kind of looks for the bright side in things.
Mhm.
And the pandemic really helped Celtic Raven Fibers.
Yes.
More people were knitting, more people were getting in touch with me, and it has made me understand how we can help each other as a knitting community through these difficult times, just
Yes.
by doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
Because people aren't socializing and they can't get out,
Mhm.
and we're very fortunate here in Shelburne. We have, as far as I know, we've never had a case in our area. I don't know of any. I haven't
I
heard
don't
of
know of
anything.
any.
And people are masking up and being careful.
We are very lucky that way because it really is amazing going into other communities where people are not complying,
Yes.
you know.
But people are quite compliant here.
Here,
I find.
I find that, and they're wonderfully supportive of one another. I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah,
I
Mhm.
agree.
so that's been good too. I'm just gonna check a few more comments here.
Very good.
Oh, our cabin is way up in northern Saskatchewan. So it's north of Prince Albert, it's north of Larange, it's at a place called East Trout Lake, and it's not really close to anything. The road ends there. So when you drive off the road to go to East Trout Lake, you don't get to go anywhere else. So we're not close to the Manitoba border at all. And there is some beautiful resorts or cottages in Saskatchewan. Like there's many lakes, and not most of them, but a lot have a little bit of development on them. The place where we're at, they limited the amount of cottages, and for many, many, many years, there was 36 cottages. There was one row of cottages, all lakefront. And that was there
That's nice.
for
That's
years and years
lovely.
and years.
Mhm.
And then they did a row across the street. So there's only, I think, 60 cottages up there. And if you have 20 of them occupied at one time,
Yeah.
that's, our busiest weekend up there is when they do the annual Cabin Owners Association meeting.
Oh, yes.
And so when those first 30 people or 36 people built those cabins up there in 1967, it would have been.
Uh-huh.
They started their Cabin Owners Association, and they made like different. Their association had rules for the cabin owners, right?
Okay.
And the number one rule they made was absolutely no cabins can be used for rental purposes.
Oh.
And so that has never changed. And
How forward thinking.
it
Yes.
was, and the other one was all dogs must be on a leash. Like they were pretty basic
Yeah.
back then.
Mm.
But so there is our family who has been there from day one, and the Schultz family, and our cabins are actually at opposite ends of that first street. We are at one end, and they are down at the other end of the street, so we face each other. So their family has been there since day one. We have been there since day one. And there's a couple that have, and the people next door to us have been there from day one. So I don't think there's many of the original owners. Like Tom is still an original owner. My grandparents built the cabin. They have both since passed, but my dad actually helped build that cabin.
Wow.
And Murray has helped with any additions on it. So, so we're very fortunate to have that in the family.
Oh, yeah.
And we just love it up there. And I was really lucky because I worked in the school system in my working career in Saskatchewan.
Mhm.
And so the kids and I would take my grandmother up at the end of June, and we would stay there most of the summer.
Oh,
Because this was after my grandfather passed, and I would take my grandmother up as much as I could.
Mhm.
And then Murray would come up on weekends with more groceries,
Oh.
and we would send him home with the laundry. And then the next weekend, he would come up with more groceries and the done laundry. So it was pretty
Perfection.
good.
Pretty sweet, yeah.
Yeah. And he, back in those days when he worked for Sastel, he had every second Friday off or something like that, every
Oh,
third
yes.
Friday. So then sometimes he got to come up on Thursday night.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was good. It was
Yeah.
good. Mhm.
How long a drive was it for Murray?
It was still an hour and 40 minutes
Okay.
from our place.
Yeah.
So it was a good drive.
Nice. Wow.
So when he was at work, he could stay at home.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. He wasn't on the road.
No.
Like he was in BC.
No, he was out. He did install and repair in the city, so he was always around. There.
Look how pretty that is. I wish mine looked like that.
Oh, very pretty.
Your next section will. This is
Yes, my next section
Your
will,
next section.
absolutely.
So I got some more comments. Starting. Oh my goodness. And Lorna is knitting in the sunshine. Way to go, Lorna.
Nice.
You have sunshine?
Yeah, how did you do that?
We have cloudy skies here today. So
But it's very mild.
it is. Yeah. It's not.
Almost spring-like feeling.
Yes.
What time are we at? Oh, half an hour to go. Very good. Not that I was counting or anything, but I do like to try and keep us on track a little bit.
I may just be ready to.
You might get to your.
I might get to where I was supposed to be. Or not. I've almost fixed my mistake now.
So I am on row 3, which is slip 1, knit 2, pass, slip, stitch over. Don't let me confuse anybody. And then yarn over. Okay. Okay, got it. Slip 1. So Melissa, I don't know if you're still out there listening to us at all, but I do have a question for you if you are. What are you knitting right now? Because I don't know, I think you've probably knit like me, have knit the shawl enough. That's why I'm totally playing with color this time. And I know all this talking about the lake, I might have to leave this one up there and have my lake shawl.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
I know the one that I made has become my meditations
Mm-hmm.
because it stays upstairs where I do my meditating.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, this is coming together. I do like this Tidal Pools color. It's a really pretty.
That is a very,
yeah.
it really is.
So I have been doing a knitting lesson with my friend in Lethbridge, and so it's interesting trying to teach someone to do toe-up socks over Facebook Live.
Oh, yes, it is.
Every so often
Hilarious.
I'm like, Murray, come and move the laptop behind me over my shoulders so I can demonstrate this. Oh, yeah.
my goodness.
I know.
It was hard enough her teaching us to do it
In
in person.
But she has a sock.
Fantastic.
We did 2.5 hours on Saturday night and about 2 hours Sunday afternoon. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Very good.
Very nice.
yeah, she's pretty happy. So we should be when we're gonna meet again on Saturday, and she's hoping she'll be ready to start the second one.
Aha.
So we kind of get that set in her head so that she can
Yeah.
start off.
Mhm.
Well, that's the thing, if you getting it set in your head so that
Yeah.
when you try it again on your own.
Mhm.
It's a muscle memory instead of a,
Yeah.
I don't know how to do this anymore.
Well, you know, the first few times I did the fish lips kiss heel, I had to do that. I had to look at the twin stitch video over and over and over and over again. But I finally got it.
Yes. And it's nice that you
Yeah.
can, like
Yeah.
you know, that you can actually,
Mhm.
that it's on YouTube and you can go back and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for YouTube and knitting stitches.
yes. I think YouTube thinks everything I ask for is knitting related.
Yeah.
It automatically assumes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
But you know, not all the knitting videos are of the same caliber, because sometimes I don't think the knitters realize that their hands are in the way, or they're trying to show you a stitch on these gigantic big needles, and you really can't get a sense. I watched so many when I was trying to teach myself to do the brioche, and you have to try different ones before you find one that really gives you instructions that make sense.
Yeah, I think we're all different types of learners, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like when at the end of my working at the school system, they were really getting into individual learning types,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Like it was, you know, we can't teach just to fit one type of learner.
Mhm.
There's so many different types of learners. So I found that pretty interesting.
Yeah.
That you know.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
And I think too that it's that idea that you teach to the learner, not the curriculum. And I think
Exactly.
that's why sometimes the knitting videos don't work, because they are so focused on the stitch, they're not thinking about the person watching their hands from a distance, trying to figure out what they just did, you know?
I'm a real visual learner.
Me
like
too.
I see stuff and I can figure it out. So when I have done different little clips that I've sent to people, like if they've been knitting something and they want a demo of a stitch, I really think about the placement of the camera,
Yes.
so that it's showing the best way you can do the stitch,
Right.
because it can be really confusing
Mm-hmm.
if you're new at it, and the terminology, you know.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So
And your interpretation of that terminology.
Exactly. I've had some interesting jobs over the years. I did the working in the school system as a teacher associate, but since then I've taken a few different short-term things, and I ended up working in British Columbia as an outreach worker for mental health and addiction services. I've been volunteering at their mental health clubhouse, doing some programs, because teaching is teaching, right? If you like teaching, you gear it to the learner, right?
Mhm.
So I was
Absolutely.
doing some gardening stuff, and it was going well, and they had an opening come up for a outreach worker on their mental health team there. So they asked me to apply for it, and I thought, well, I might as well. I wasn't even close to the right qualifications for the job, but as I realized, this is many years ago, it was in small town rural BC. No one in the town had the right qualifications for the job.
That's right.
But I had the right skills for the job, which is what they ended up looking at. But
Right.
I'm sitting in this interview, and it was by phone with a panel. Now, all my years, I have never had an interview like that's when that was just coming out. So there was this mental health team, and there was people on a phone. And so the first question they asked me was, one of them, they asked a few things, and then they said, so how would you implement a psycho I can't even say it. Psychosocial rehabilitation program. What?
First, I would look up the word psychosocial.
Yes, I know what it meant. Oh my God. I felt like such a dummy. And you know what? I just answered it honestly. I said, you know what? I'm not exactly sure on what that terminology means, but before I started the job, I would be looking it up and making sure I knew what I was doing. So I made them all laugh, and I got the job. Psychosocial rehabilitation. I was like, oh my gosh. So,
threw that one at you.
Yeah, I wasn't. And there was so much terminology in that mental
Mhm.
health field that was totally
Oh.
new for me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. And one of the case managers who was really, really rooting for me to get the job was like, she'll figure it out. Don't worry about her. She'll figure it out. She's got the right instincts. And really, that was what
See,
it
and
was
that's
about:
yes.
is
Yeah.
having the right instincts to work, because not everybody wants to work in with severe and persistent mental illness.
Well, no, and
It's
not everyone
challenging.
can.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah, not everyone can.
Yeah.
It really does. And yeah, it's the same in education, right?
Mhm.
Not everyone can be a teacher. They
Yeah.
want to,
Mhm.
but it's not. Yeah.
Just Melissa say, it feels like spring here after that storm yesterday. You guys must be having sunshine. We haven't quite got that yet.
No.
Melissa, what's on your needles? Tell us. Let's see what she says. I saw the pictures you posted, Melissa, yesterday of your house with the water. She's really close to the water's edge.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of
The storm surge.
storm surge was very close to her house.
Yep.
Ooh.
We were watching the waves. They kind of hit at an angle, and the wave would wash across the front of the house and then splash over the wood pile. So we were expecting to find our wood pile
Oh.
in the ocean today.
Mhm.
And not that it's close to the edge. That's the thing. Like, it's not close to the edge.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness.
So the water, the storm surge, I'm sure Melissa saw that too, that the storm surge was pretty impressive.
7+, sun and 7+. Sun for the last 2 hours here. Well, the South Shore isn't the sunny South Shore right now, is it?
Ooh, no.
So I really like that everyone is taking the time to comment and stuff. We really like that feedback, so it's kind of great. 9 in Middle Sackville, 7 in Melissa at Hubbard's. It didn't seem that cold outside, but we just
I
don't have
didn't.
any sunshine.
Yeah. It was +2 this morning when I got up, so that's not that cold.
No, it's quite a nice day, that's for sure. It's very mild. I didn't check the temperature in the car when I got out. I should have.
Okay, let's see what Melissa has to say here. Nothing on your needles. I'm working on learning Adobe Design so our patterns will be nicer.
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
Very good.
It's good. Always learning curves, eh? You think, because I think that the expectations are higher for stuff now because we have all this access to these different programs, right?
Absolutely.
And so
Mhm.
people have an expectation that it's going to have a professional look to it, even though having that professional look may not be your strength. I think so far, if you've checked up the Wrapping Up 2020 website, there's just been the one picture where you can enter your email to get more information. I believe everything is live today because I had to do my blog post last night. So
Okay.
I've done my first blog post on that.
Oh.
Oh, I have to check it out.
Yeah, hopefully you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
And I will put the link to this on that after. So that'll be kind of cool.
Very good.
Yeah.
Remind us how we access that.
I think it's just wrappingup2020.com. So you
Okay.
should be able to just, like I said, I was talking to the web designer yesterday
Mhm.
and it should be good today, but
Very good.
things always.
Yeah. Yeah.
do what they need to do.
Strange that.
Yeah. Okay, what's the last one? Then the yarn over. Then, okay, I have made it through row 3. And I ended up with the right amount of stitches at the end. So,
Oh, that's
so the
that's a
only thing,
treat.
okay, so I can see where I made a mistake just looking at it, and I forgot. See right here, I forgot to pick up my yarn over.
Oh.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna grab this loop when I get back there, because
Okay.
that'll be my yarn over. I forgot to pick up my yarn over, see? So you can tell it's just, it's that loop. So I'm just gonna pick that up.
Yeah.
So if you do forget to do a yarn over, you're just picking up the yarn you're carrying between the 2 stitches to get your yarn over. And just make sure you have it going the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. Oh, I know those envelopes that the little cards came in were quite pretty. I had looked online trying to find something that wasn't just a plain envelope, and I really liked those little envelopes.
Yeah.
Absolutely adorable.
They were cute.
Yeah.
They could have been just a smidgen bigger, but I don't think they were meant to fit 12 cards in.
Yeah.
They were just meant to fit 1 or 2
Absolutely.
cards in. So maybe I should have put 2 envelopes. It would have fit better.
Oh, they're very cute.
I really liked them. I thought they were fun. It's nice to find something a little different. I like looking for things that are a little different.
Yeah.
And you offered me cards for the yarn that I bought that I'm using for something else, and I said no, but I changed my mind.
Okay, well, we'll get those for you before you leave.
Very good.
So I am finding that people are buying the larger skeins for different projects, and especially if they have a month that has sort of stuck out
Mm-hmm.
in their mind for the year, they want a larger skein to do something with.
That's
kind
a
of
nice idea. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have that all set up on the Wrapping Up 2020.
And as you're going through, you find out which one you like best.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Love
because the colors are so spectacular.
Well, thank you. I actually had a lot of fun. I have a lot more ideas for stuff right now, but I'm just going to stay focused on this for now to see, what direction it goes
Mm-hmm.
and kind of take it from there.
Yeah.
I'm always good for ideas. That's why I have way too many things on the go all the time because of the amount of ideas
Yes.
I have.
Yeah.
A wealth of ideas.
But
And I would imagine too, you've got a lot of people coming to you with their projects, and that just stimulates your imagination.
yeah, I
Yeah.
see what people are knitting,
Mhm.
and then I think, oh, I could dye something really cool for that. Yeah. But you know what I have found? I do have a few bad habits. And one of them is when I'm dyeing yarn is I try and keep all my dye recipes in a notebook.
Mhm.
But they're not consistently in the same notebook.
Oh
dear.
I have the same problem.
Yeah, and sometimes they may be on a scrap of paper that I have close by, and then I put it inside the notebook, and then it comes out of the notebook, and then I can never find that dye recipe again. So I have worked hard at trying to become more organized at that, but I have just found an online software
Yes.
for tracking dye recipes and your dye inventory.
Oh boy.
Oh, very good.
And this woman, I've been reading about it. She spent a lot of time on getting it set up, and it's only $50 to buy that program. And I think it will be probably the best $50 I ever spent,
I
because
think
everything
it's in
would be
your-
in one
Yep.
place.
Oh, that would be so good.
And so I
Yes.
thought I should buy it.
Mhm.
And then I can, often Marie and I are traveling, if it's up to Cape Breton or whatever, I'm like 6 hours in the car.
Right.
So I could just bring my dye book with me, plug my laptop in while I'm sitting in the car, and start entering those recipes.
Yes. Yeah.
And that would be
Or you could do them when you do them. And be
I
up
could.
to date, Cindy.
Well, I probably would do them after, just because
Yeah.
of water.
Well, not, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure. I need to do them like after I decide on them. And take the notes like love it, hate it, never repeat. I have some that I have wrote, never repeat this again.
Really?
Yes, because they turned out.
There was a strange one that you had done that I helped you to take the skeins apart. I remember the colors were most bizarre.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I take huge comfort in hearing you say that because I cleaned out the loft yesterday and I had piles of paper. And so mixed together, I had dance notes on moves from a class or a choreography we were working on. So they were intermingled. There were notes on meditation and there were notes on that computer program that we were working on together. Do you remember? We did that webinar.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So, but they were all on the same page. There would be dance notes with meditation notes and computer notes all in one place. So I felt very proud of myself that I sorted those out. But I'm so glad to hear that someone else does that.
It's recipes with
it's-
me.
Whatever piece of paper. Oh, music. Someone mentions a song and I write it down, or I
True.
hear it on the CBC. I write
Oh,
it
yeah,
down.
I've done that.
Yeah,
I-
books.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
See,
I actually, yeah.
so before I do anything
Hey, I
else, I
have
go
one.
back.
Always have one with me.
I know, because you
Yeah.
never know when someone's going to say something
And
you want to try to remember, and it's better.
Quotations,
Yes.
whatever. I've got
Yeah.
a book, or I'm reading in my book, and something will come up that I'd like to remember that.
Yeah.
So I'll jot that in,
Yeah.
or it's just one of those things.
It's
I
true,
have
it's
to have
true.
my little notebook with
Yep.
me for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the loft, it turned out that they were like bits of paper.
Oh yeah.
So I don't want to waste the paper. So on the back of one thing, there's all this other stuff. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, there's a pile like that by my computer.
So I was thinking of like this wall behind me. I have to tell you the story about the wall behind me. Murray and I are trying to make a spot that we don't have to keep rearranging all the time to do the little nittios. Nittios. So yesterday those big sheets of blue styrofoam were on sale and we went and picked up those and I covered them with a tablecloth. 2 tablecloths.
Great.
To make our background, and I wanted it fairly neutral. But I'm thinking because you can poke pins into them so easily,
Mhm.
I might start putting all my swatch samples on there,
Mhm.
you know, all the different,
Mhm.
because they're just all shoved.
It's a great blocking wall.
Yeah, they're all shoved in a little case, well, a little tub, basically. And so I have to root through them to find anything. But I
That
could
would be
have
a lovely display.
just have the little squares back there.
Yep.
Okay, I got some more comments to read. Oh, we have to think of season 2 of wrapping up 2020 continues into 2021. That's true. Season 2.
So there was a post from the Halifax knitting group, and the woman said that she had overblocked her scarf. And I'm not sure what that means, that she
Does that mean pulling it out too tight? Like
I-
really loosening it, and you could. Any thoughts out there, ladies? What does overblocking? What does that mean to you? To me, it means that maybe you stretched it too much, and you would lose part of the pattern if you stretched it too much.
Yeah, that's
know?
what I wondered.
Is that what it means? Overblocking? I'm not sure exactly.
So, and the other question then would be, can you fix that? Or are you now?
Or, can you soak it? And it would.
Yeah.
I guess it would depend on if it was a super wash or not, right? Oh, the challenges, knitting challenges. So I'm just wondering if Murray's been working on his knitting. He said he might come and sit with us and knit.
My, well.
He's never shown up yet, but he does have a few rows done on his cowl.
Oh, it would be nice if he did.
Murray,
Yeah,
have you been knitting?
yes, I have.
Can we see it?
Oh, sure. I'll be right there.
Okay. He's on the other side of the curtain. The voice from the other side of the curtain.
Menswear.
Yeah.
Mystery voice.
Yep.
No sun here yet.
No.
No. Here he comes. I hear him.
I hear him coming. Yes.
Here I come, ladies.
Okay. Let's see what you have for your knitting.
Okay.
He's got a little case. We
I'm
found
going
a
to
little case.
move so
Here.
that you can sit
Yeah,
here.
you can
Sure.
sit here for a second
There
and
you
show
go.
us what you've been
It's
doing.
been a great experience. So last week, Peggy helped me cast on. Cindy had shown me a couple of times. And this is my deep space yarn that I hand dyed. And we went from the straight needles, they were too cumbersome, to the cabling needles. So I haven't done too much, but I have done a little bit
He's
here.
got some rows done, and it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I don't see any lost real stitch, any stitches lost.
That's good. It's good, Marie.
Yeah. It's a good pastime that you can sit and talk and click the needles and look up at the TV. It's interesting. So one day I plan to go on a Norwegian cruise ship with Arnie and Carlos. Because most people know Arnie and Carlos, the Norwegian knitters. So anyway, that's my project.
And Murray's family is from Norway, and that's why he really wants to do that.
Yeah. I would love to
I
see
feel like I've done something wrong.
those big fjords and the mountains and the crystal blue waters. Okay, so people are going to wonder, can he actually knit?
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's give it a try. So we stab the pirate, we capture the pirate, and then we toss him over. Well, there we go. So there's number one.
Well, looky there.
There, looky there. And the nice thing about knitting is that if you
He's
drop
got
a
someone to
stitch-
fix his mistakes.
Oh, darn. Look at that. There we go. I think that's kind of where I was. Now, Cindy said to make sure that I keep tension on this, and that may be my biggest mistake.
Can I just see that for a second?
Yeah, right there.
So this stitch had actually come undone. Your last stitch. See, this should always be out of your last stitch. So what you need to do is I can just fix this very quickly for you. Because when you, so see how it should be
Okay.
coming from your last stitch.
All right. So
And I've made a mistake, so I need to
I'll stab the pirate.
never talk like I do on the videos and knit. I should have something that's straight knitting.
Whoop. Let me get my tail end down here. All right. For those of you who are watching, this must be quite a sight to be able to see, a painful sight to watch me do this. Okay. I can do, probably 30 stitches a half hour.
Oh, yeah.
Whoop, I lost my finger. Okay. I'm going to have to learn to control, and I guess that comes with experience of doing this. Is anybody commenting? Probably not.
Not yet.
No.
No.
They're holding their breath, Murray.
Yeah. Anticipating.
Anticipating. There we go. Okay. I just had to familiarize myself with the method and the touch control here.
The touch control. Like that.
So how's the Nidio going today?
Fine.
Good.
I'm back to where I was when I made the mistake. And
Oh,
now I have done 4 rows since I corrected myself.
I see. So do we still have some viewers on?
Not sure.
Okay.
I don't know where to look for that. So
Go down in your comment section.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it doesn't say viewers, right?
Well,
Anybody still there?
I'm not too worried about it.
no, it's just happy. Now, Cindy told
Yep,
me
people are
last
there.
night.
I saw someone coming.
Cindy told me last night that you shouldn't stop knitting in the middle of a row. That you should continue your full row before you put it away.
True.
So I have a project going on in the back over there that I want to get back to. So
You're gonna finish your
I'm
row.
going to finish my row. Okay, and the trick I learned is to push this down a little bit. There we go. And pull this up so I've got it.
I feel like I've made a mistake.
It's frustrating.
That keeps the
Just go
tension.
back over.
I am.
Do you find sometimes going backwards helps?
Sometimes. I think I did it. That's right. Knit 2, knit 1, knit 1 front and back, slip 1 stitch, knit 2. Oh, that's right.
So while I'm here, I'd like to ask, does anybody need a replenishing coffee or tea?
I'm just fine.
How about a glass of water even?
No,
Okay.
Just great.
Okay, great.
Carrie says, true word. Well, first, Carrie says, I'm here. Lorna says, true words, Murray. Finish the row. And Carrie says, and very impressed with you, Murray, as you learn on camera. You're a brave man.
That's for sure.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Well, thank you. I really like to be instructed.
And I'm good at it.
I do so much better when I've got an instructor right here in my home.
Oh, yeah.
So my next project that I thought of in dyeing some yarn, I want to kind of have some orange highlights on a grayish background so that I can knit something up for Halloween.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I'm thinking of some sort of like a Merlin's cap. A Merlin's
Oh, a
hat.
hat. Yes, yes, yes.
You know, how would you strengthen it to be standing upright?
You'd use very small needles to make the firmness, wouldn't you, Cindy?
Yeah. And it, depending on what you wanted to do and how long you were planning on wearing it. Like if it was just for a Halloween event or whatever, I would even put some of that soft wire in it. Just run it through the back, and if it's a prop, basically that's not a hat to wear, but a prop type kind of hat. So,
If you're going to go to all that trouble to knit it, you might as well knit it on the appropriate needles to give yourself the stiffness that you need.
Okay.
Lorna says, "Good to start early for October 31st."
Exactly. Yeah. missed it.
Uh-oh.
Okay, see, I got distracted thinking of other things. Okay, so now,
Cindy, he may need
no,
you.
no, I can see what I did here.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. There.
That's a good sign.
Okay, I have to push my yarn down the cable
Yeah.
a little bit
Yeah.
so that I keep this tension, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't mean to take over from Peggy. Peggy's in.
Now he's got to finish his row.
He's
though.
got to finish his row.
Okay.
We found this nice little cookie tin for him, so his ball of yarn fits
That's
in
very
there. and
cute.
It's just perfect.
Yeah.
And it says Marie's knitting. Just in case.
So- One thing I noticed is that you're pointing things here at the camera.
No,
The
I'm
cameras
not.
have to
I'm
look.
trying to read. I'm not looking. I'm not using that for the camera at all.
No.
I'm trying to pretend there's no camera here and I'm just visiting with my friends.
Great. So if you're going to show something, you got to take it out.
Oh, well, no. Okay. Not that way.
All right.
I won't be doing that.
No, oops, sorry, Cindy.
It's not my thing. I don't want to be conscious of the camera.
Yep.
Like, that's my goal, is
Right.
not to be conscious of the camera. So I'm just holding it up so people can see, right?
There you are.
There we go. Okay.
That's all I'm doing.
So
Murray's the cameraman. I am the person who screws up the cameraman.
just like I screw up on my knitting and you fix me up.
So,
There we go. So they say that men or young boys in Norway have to learn how to knit in school. I think that would be a good thing to do because it would
why not?
teach some discipline, right?
Mm-hmm. It's a great skill. How's the row
Love the
coming?
April colorway, Easter and my birthday month. The April colorway is one of my favorites too in the Chaos series, that Creativity for the Win.
Mhm.
It's such a pretty color. And it looks so pretty in the big skein.
Nice to know.
Okay. So Cindy had said before that I was going to be making a cowl, which I'm still doing. And I was casting on about 50 stitches for the cowl. So I'm about halfway done
Your row.
my row.
It is quite strange for me to walk into the living room and see Murray earnestly knitting in his chair. It's like, whoa. Just seems so weird. But pleasant.
Unpleasant.
Yeah.
Not unpleasant at all.
Just wait, Greta. I might get Roddy going here.
Oh, he would. He
I'm
would
sure.
do it.
Yeah.
Oh, Murray, it could be a knitio. You teaching Rod how to knit. Oh, Murray, it could be a hoot.
Oh, hell yeah. It'd be a laugh all right. Oh,
Well, I feel like I'm gonna have to.
if you're not having fun, what are you doing in life, eh?
Exactly.
I heard you talking about the Ross Thompson house a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, Greta and I actually worked there together, and she's still the senior interpreter for the Ross Thompson house. Yeah,
And senior has nothing to do with age, right?
That's what I'm sticking to.
that's
I'm
right.
sticking to it.
Yeah, it's a seniority,
Mm.
right? You could have 2 weeks of seniority if somebody else is just starting up. So,
There you are.
but Greta really helped me with, learning the history of Shelburne, and
Murray and I were a good group to work together. We did great things.
we did.
I think Murray misses it just a little bit, not
Well,
a lot.
I miss Murray a lot.
Well, thank you. I do miss it, but I have other interests now, and one of those interests is to go during the summers to work alongside our son and help him out, and daughter-in-law.
I thought he was going to say knitting.
So did I. I don't think
One
it's
of my
really a big
interests is
interest.
knitting.
No.
Yeah. Well, our son and daughter-in-law in Saskatchewan, they appreciate us being around.
I really think it's fishing in Saskatchewan in the summer
Yeah.
that possibly might be the big drawing card.
Oh,
Could
it
be.
So yeah. We've spent most of our adult summers at the cottage, and the guys fished, and I knit or wove. I had a loom up there, so I would weave or knit or do. And then the last time I did some dyeing up there, so it's kind of a nice spot to be.
Mm-hmm.
Before you head up this time, your colorway can be called dyeing for Saskatchewan.
Yes. We actually have done a little bit of I had a group of people on a Facebook group that that I showed pictures from across our travels, and we had Lulu in different
Oh,
places.
it was so great.
At
Yes.
every
Provincial boundary.
provincial boundary, we took a picture and did something,
Yeah.
and maybe I'll have to have me knitting in every province or something along the way, like,
Yep.
or do a little short knitio.
We do a
somewhere.
little short knitio.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that'd be fun
So I'm hoping that we are able to travel
this summer.
this summer. If not, Shelburne is a great place to come and
Yeah,
live, and
great place to be in the summer too.
then we'd have some knit-alongs here, perhaps.
Yeah, I would like to.
People have to self-isolate though if they're coming from away, because you
That's
don't
right.
want
Well-
too big of a bubble.
Well, I wonder if they'll do the Atlantic bubble again. It's hard
It
to
all
say.
depends on the
On-
number of cases that we
Yeah.
have. It's something to hope for.
It is something to hope for.
If
So I
you
think-
guys are here, though, the Ross Thompson Yard is always open for outdoor activities,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it was a
yeah.
lot of fun last year.
Wouldn't that be great? And hear the clucking of the chickens.
Yes, absolutely.
So are the chickens still with us?
Oh
Or
yes.
Oh yeah. And who has them?
Corey and Tina are with Katie Peacock.
Oh yes. Okay.
Yeah, they have friends. Corey has gotten very, very fond of the ducks.
Oh, there's ducks in the yard too.
Yes, so
Oh, that's
when the
good.
ducks pile out of the coop at night, Corey runs in the morning. Corey runs out with them. Well, one day it was pouring rain, and I got this picture of Corey just standing there. It said, "Someone's as mad as a wet chicken."
Mad as a wet hand.
Yeah. He
Right.
ran
So-
right up with the ducks. See,
Oh, yeah.
he doesn't realize he's a chicken till he got saturated.
So Lorna, I'll just answer your question. For color 4, there's no setup row. You just continue on in that section. You just did the setup row when you started that section. Oh my goodness, we're at 11:45.
Oh my soul.
And I said we'd only go till 11:30, so we're a little bit longer today. Anyway, I would like to thank everyone for joining us. Peggy, do you want to come in and say goodbye quickly?
Sure, I can do that.
Okay.
Let me just pick up my knitting. Because I have to finish my row. I heard.
I just finished my row.
Yeah.
And I'm just about finishing the row, so
Look how good that's looking.
Isn't it looking good? He's done pretty good.
it's coming
I'm
on.
not in front of the camera. Let me just.
Oh, that's
3
okay.
rows to go
Yeah.
before I can put my other one on.
Mm-hmm.
Still.
Do you find those needles easier to work with?
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's all about controlling the yarn.
So tell me again about stabbing the pirate.
Okay, well,
Okay.
as far as I can recall the
So
poem
we'll
that said,
stab the pirate.
stab the pirate. So you go under,
Strangle him.
Choke the pirate.
Choke the pirate.
choke the pirate.
Yeah.
Okay, choke the pirate. Okay,
Capture the pirate and walk him off the plank.
and then
Something
yeah.
like that.
And
then
walk them off the plank.
Walk them off the plank.
Oh, brilliant.
That's
Okay.
very good.
There's a whole bunch of different little rhymes for knitting, but that one appealed to Murray.
Yeah.
There's some really nice ones too about the little bunny and and then there's some other ones, but Murray liked the stab. The
Pirates are so Shelburne appropriate.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
Totally Shelburne
Yeah.
appropriate.
Ned Lowe, beware.
Yes.
Oh
Ned
my
Lowe.
gosh. Your brother is on here, Murray.
No kidding.
Watching you.
Oh,
Oh!
look what I did.
Oh,
There.
see, you got all excited. He fixed it.
Oh!
That's awesome.
And Gary wants to know if you're having fun.
I am having fun.
He's
Who
got all these
wouldn't be?
women coaching him. Why wouldn't he be
Exactly.
having fun? Stabbing the pirate,
Okay.
So Gary, you can be a guest star
Strangling the pirate.
on a Saskatchewan
capturing
video.
the
We'll
pirate,
have
and walking the plank.
And walking them
the
off.
Knitting Brothers.
The Knitting Brothers.
The
That's
Knitting Brothers.
awesome.
You
Okay.
can be the Saskatchewan side when Rod and Murray are when Murray's
Right.
teaching Rod to knit. It can be Rod Murray teaching Gary and Rod to
Yeah.
knit.
There we go. Okay. And
Well done, Murray.
well, thank you. There.
It's coming along. Coming along.
All right. I'll let you sign off, and it was a nice pleasure to sit amongst these ladies
Yes.
with so much practical knowledge. Okay.
Okay. See you, Murray.
Bye now.
Practical knowledge. That's us.
All right.
That was fun. Thank
That
you very
was
much,
fun.
Cindy.
Yeah. So
Yes, thank you.
next week we'll do the same thing.
I will have my lace done. I
Mhm.
promise.
Well, you're welcome to pop by
If I
anytime.
make it, well, I
Wow.
only made the mistake last night just
Yeah.
as I was getting to the end. It
Yeah.
was so frustrating.
Where'd Lulu go?
So,
Well, you're certainly welcome to pop by anytime.
thank
And
you.
Is she there?
I have every intention of having my homework done for next week.
The show is getting violent. Yes, we're stabbing pirates.
There
It's
she
getting
is.
violent.
Come here, Lulu.
Is she hiding under the
She's
chair?
under the.
Oh, look at she's been under the table.
Oh,
Oh, my girl.
Lulu.
She says I'm in my court, you guys.
She's so
She's been
cute.
under the table behind us all the time with her little nose poking out.
Come here, Lulu.
Can you get by?
Come here.
Okay.
Okay, come on. Come here.
These are my scraps of colors. that
See,
I'm
my
playing with.
bulldog would
Oh,
be crying,
very
going, I can't get by that box.
Yeah. So
That's
this is what I'm gonna play with.
Yeah.
All these little, I grabbed all these little teeny tiny balls. So
Nice.
Okay,
That's
Lulu.
going to be wonderful.
Say bye-bye. Bye from Lulu. Can you see her in the?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So
All right.
thanks everybody for tuning in, and we will see you next week. And hopefully we're all ready to go on to section 3. Okay. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Was there too much?
No, I was just too busy trying to fix my knitting.
It's hard to